Okay, so let's start with Dasharo toolsuit status. For those who don't know, Dasharo toolsuit, also called DTS, is our Swiss Army knife for delivering the Dasharo firmware. So essentially, anyone who would like to flash Dasharo on compatible hardware can use this minimal Linux environment for deployment. There are, of course, some caveats, some things to read in the documentation before doing that. There are two methods of, I guess, at least two methods of running DTS. Very popular is just booting from the network IPXE. It's behind the boot 3mdep.com, or just like downloading the image and flashing to USB and just running from that USB. For those looking for explanation, because I don't want to repeat everything about the Dasharo toolsuit every time, there is bit.ly link to the video where I did initial presentation of Dasharo toolsuit, or I guess maybe it was Tomek from our team who is responsible for that distribution. But anyway, these links can give you more information. What happened since last release? I guess we thought that we will not do more silent releases. Where silent releases, we're saying when we don't announce everything publicly, we just do the tag on the GitHub and do not add information on Dasharo Universe documentation that there is new DTS version. So last DTS version, which is on Dasharo Universe documentation, is 1.2.8. This is stable version for flashing, let's say, all the MSIs, and I guess all the Nova Custom, but I don't know if anyone flashing Nova Custom themselves. But anyway, all the supported hardware is in 1.2.8. The newer firmware is not supported, I guess, but the newest firmware, the newest Dasharo for MSI, is supported by the version that can be booted from the server, from the boot 3mdep.com. So there were three silent releases made, mostly for Dasharo support package customers. And maybe let's talk a little bit what was delivered in those releases. So 1.2.9 was released 29th September, and its main goal was to integrate firmware update mode. And if you don't know what's firmware update mode, you can read about it on Nova Custom blog and on 3mdep blog, where we explain how this was implemented, why this was implemented, and essentially the goal is to simplify and improve user experience during the firmware update, during the open source firmware update. And that's it. I guess that's intermediate step for delivering ultimate user experience, high quality user experience for firmware update, because I think the goal is to have FWPD LVFS support for all the hardware that Dasharo supports. So you can use FWPD delivered with your Linux distribution just to switch the firmware from proprietary to Dasharo. That would be great, but it requires a lot of development, especially because FWPD, despite having flash ROM support, is organized in a way that the UEFI capsule plugin is the prominent one and the default method for delivering updates. And we can confirm right now that we get grant from NLNet Foundation to do this UEFI capsule integration in core boot, but we announced on our social media channels. So I guess in 2024, that's the next step for firmware update mode to be more user-friendly and provide ultimate user experience in delivering open source firmware to your hardware. Other things that we have to add in 1.2.9 was enabling FEVARs. This is related with a firmware update mode because we're using some UEFI variables to deliver some information, to make some decisions inside the inside DTS. And then like we added some improved logging because Flash ROM provided some maybe not some very welcome messages, not very clear for end user, so we have to silent it. And we also had to fix some problems with EC firmware links, and when links were incorrect, the hashes were also incorrect, so that's why we have to fix that. So the next thing was 17 October, where we delivered 1.10 version with the Dasharo configuration utility. I will not dive deep into that because I have separate short presentation, very short presentation, like 5-10 minutes about that tool. But essentially that tool is for allows change of logo and maybe in future other options, but it does it in offline. So you're essentially taking Dasharo binary, running this tool, and you can, for example, replace logo. Yeah, so there was also a feature added to migrate UEFI variables from SMM store on Nova Custom laptops, so the configuration of the laptop is preserved after the firmware update. That was not the case initially, and of course that's very bad, but we fixed that, and now the configuration is preserved. Then
yes, it was made for MSI platform first.
Oh, okay. So okay. So in the past was only for MSI. That's thanks Michał for that information. And then we improved continuous integration, continuous deployment pipeline for DTS. And then like 2 more releases which were very, very small. Like first one was just bumping the default version that is flashed on Nova Custom devices. Of course, like if we look at FWPD design, FWPD use metadata to decide what firmware should be deployed, and does not need updating FWPD itself. So that's the difference with DTS. So DTS got the drawback of having a need for updating the default version, and that's bad. We have to change that, and we have to migrate out of that convoluted solution. Then we have version 1.12, which was published 3rd November, and essentially this was needed for fixing some problems when we flashed boards without with vboot but without slot B, and that caused some issues. I guess this is something maybe related with this blue screen, that we still have some bugs. We don't know why people getting that this warning that after update you're getting this blue warning that this is some problem. There is some problem with the update, and like potentially this is risky, and so on and so on. But the point is that we're looking for solution, and I guess this was part of this looking of solution. Yeah, so far in 2023 we released 7 version of DTS, and we progressed from 1.11 to 1.12, and yeah, and of course we plan to continue improve DTS in 2024. So if we look at the bugs, it's not looking very well, but I guess that's just a matter of project management and product management, and like taking care of marking the bugs resolved. But essentially Dasharo issues regarding the Dasharo toolsuit is flat, so closed bugs are flat, and there is like just number of open issues growing. Of course, I guess this is not true because not all the bugs and not all the features which were implemented in DTS are visible in this statistic. But I guess I'm leaving this chart for myself and for the Dasharo team to tell us we have to fix it, we have to improve it, we have to track correctly in Dasharo issues repository issues related to DTS. This is how. Thanks. This is how the screen look like right now. For those, so as I said, like yeah, so maybe 1 to 12 is not yet on boot3m.com. the Rust version available publicly on the server is 1.11, and you can IPXE chain load to DTS. For those who want to try DTS, just look at it and see if it's like, I don't know, not installing malware or what is like, want to explore this operating system. You can follow this GitHub comment where I posted procedure for running DTS in QEMU. And you can look at that it's booting completely fine in QEMU, and you can, of course, like options does not work, like deploying firmware on QEMU, but you can look what's inside. Okay, and I did some cleanup and tried to put everything into the milestones on the GitHub. So I created like a bunch of like a kind of big backlog milestone called 1 to 13, which essentially gathers everything what was on the GitHub Dasharo issues, just to make sure that these graphs of issue statistics will improve. So I will not go through that. You can go to the link and look at what things can be implemented. I guess if you will comment some of the issues, probably some of them are already solved. So maybe we just need testing. But if you will comment some of the issues which you care about, definitely it will elevate the priority of those issues, and those will be implemented first, fix it first. And there is like longer plan for version 2 of DTS. I guess like most important things for us here are user experience and the things related to kind of inheriting from Mr. Chromebox implementation of the firmware deployment tool, just to get rid of this text-like to terminal user interface, which has some colors and look way nicely than what we have right now. Yeah, and I guess that's probably what I'm looking for. There are also some stuff related, like the detecting interfused platform. So we would like to have ability to report and detect if given platform can be core booted, if Dasharo can be developed for that platform, or rather this is not possible because Intel bootguard is correctly fused, and especially that platform does not present any value for open source community. So if you have any comments to those issues, please go to the milestone 5. I guess this is milestone 5. I guess really?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it seems so.
Okay, let me share that again. What about now? Okay, good. So I guess I get to just run through the slides. Yeah. So, and finally, the roadmap. By the way, this is the roadmap I generated using Python, like pure Python, zero graphical, playing with the graphical mode. It's not the great, but this is what I was able to achieve, and I'm very happy with the results so far. I hope I can. And by the way, I'm recommending this Python roadmapper library. It's very cool. I guess we will contribute to that library to make it even better. So the goal is to have 1 to 13 by the end of the Q1 24, and then like maybe Q2 deliver the version 2. Maybe this will be faster. It's all about like the priorities always changing. I hope we can. It also depends on your contribution. It depends on your support. So it's rough plan, and we will see if it will change or we will follow what was presented here. And that's it. Any questions regarding DTS?